this is Paul Evans. Welcome to another edition of the Nicheology Profit Letters. We continue to look at this online business series. We're now in part 3. Went jogging this morning, jiggled, made me nervous. I'm not used to jiggling. Actually, I'm not used to jogging at all. The only reason I went jogging is because I need to get in some better shape. And I started thinking about that, and like any person, I wanted to find out whose fault it was. Whose fault is it that I jiggled while I jogged? Is it possibly Five Guys' fault? Five Guys Burgers and Fries? Was it Papa John's fault because I love to eat pepperoni pizza? Was it Hardee's steak biscuits' fault? Maybe so. I mean, in our society, we've got the right to blame other people. Now, not ourselves. It's not our fault. But we can blame other people when things don't go right for us and when things don't turn out like we believe they were supposed to. Well, once again, there's a huge difference there between the employee and the business owner. An employee, once again, is a person who is told what to do, and the business owner is the person who decides what will get done. And most likely, my jiggling is a result of, as you guessed it, me, my fault, my lack of discipline. Well, it's most likely as well, as Zig Ziglar says, it was not that I gained this weight in one weekend, it was one more bite that did me in. And that's my story, and most likely your story as well in business. That what happens is that we buy something or we start down a particular road and we believe there's going to be a certain result. But business owners know that at best, what they are attempting is an experiment because we don't know how it's going to turn out. You see, let's align it again with this physical culture aspect. I know my body from having owned a fitness center years ago and being heavily involved in the fitness culture for many, many years before I forsook it and went into hamburgers and biscuits and pizza as a major part of my lifestyle. Now, because of that early training, I know exactly how my body reacts. I know what I can and what I can't eat. I know how much I need to exercise because I've been down that road. However, if I'd never exercised, if I had never worked out, I would not know what my body or how my body would react to this training. So it would be an experiment. I don't know what would happen. And yet in business, people are expecting to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, and it's going to work out just like they saw or just like they read. Well, it can't because every person is different. My metabolism is different. It reacts to certain things and certain exercises in a certain way. Now it's a predictable pattern, but in the beginning it was nothing more than an experiment. So here's the big lesson, the big secret here of lesson 3. Owners take responsibility. You've got to take responsibility for your online business. Yes, we have to look around us and we have to learn. We have to be educated, which I'm going to talk about tomorrow. And we have to take a risk, which I'm going to talk about on Wednesday. But for today, concentrate on taking responsibility. Now, how do we do this? Well, a couple of keys here, actually 4. First of all, we need to accept the rewards of that. We accept the rewards of the effort that we put out. An employee's name is in the to line of a check. An owner's name is in the signature line of a check. So we get to accept that reward. When we make money, we get to claim that. We get to say, I was the one who did the work, I put forth the effort, I set up the sites, or I outsourced it, and I get the reward. So when you accept responsibility, you accept the reward. Secondly, you also accept the consequences. And that's the part that we're not as thrilled about, because what we're trying to buy into is a promise that whatever we do, if we do what we're taught, then we will have the expected result. My oldest son, Sam, turns 16 later this month. He's been taught how to drive. There's going to be a consequence. There are other people out on the road, and he is going to make a mistake. So there's going to be a consequence there. Even though he knows the rules, he knows the steps to take, he knows to be looking, it doesn't mean that it's guaranteed with him. He's got to accept the consequences. I'll have to accept the consequences. You've got to accept the consequences of your business. It's part of being a business owner. Number 3, accept the struggle. It's just not easy. I'm sorry. You know, when people say in the copy, it's not your fault, well, that's a lie. It's your fault. It's my fault when it doesn't go well because I've got to do certain steps. Now, if we follow an intended path in a very simple area, such as registering a domain, and we're given faulty instructions, then it's not our fault. But for the most part, the fundamentals of business are the same across the board. What we have to do is do our work, accept the struggle of getting it right. The first time we go and register a domain, chances are we'll foul up along the way and click the wrong button. It's just part of it. Doesn't mean the system's broke. It means that we hadn't learned enough yet. Or we set up that first web page. If one person's using Dreamweaver and I'm using Front Page, well, chances are it's not going to work out identically, but I will get there if I accept the struggle. And number 4, we got to accept the truth. And the truth is it takes effort. And the truth is it takes time. We are not going to make money overnight. There are a few things online where we could really make money overnight, but the faster we want to make money, the more it costs. And everybody's not excited about that. Most people that I come in contact with want to start their online business as cheaply as possible, run it as cheaply as possible, and make as much as possible. Truth is, there's a disconnect there. The less we're willing to spend, the slower the process is going to be. Not trying to even sell you anything. I'm just telling you it's the way it is. So that's part of the truth. There's a lot of truths in business. And the biggest truth is if you're going to be the owner, you've got to accept the responsibility. And even saying that it's not, you know, easy, or that everything doesn't go smoothly, or that it is your fault is not even negative. We often think about that as negative. Accepting responsibility is not negative at all. Instead, it frees us to get the things we want, such as freedom of time, such as internet income streams. When we accept responsibility and stop trusting everybody around us, but simply learn from them and then re-engage that focus or that education in a positive direction, then we also get to take credit for it. And when we take credit for it, we can turn around and we can sell our discoveries and make even more money online. Well, that's it for this issue of the Nichology Profit Letter, this video version. I hope it has not been discouraging that you've got to accept responsibility. I'm not discouraged about it at all. I'm excited about it. I'm especially excited about losing this jiggle as I jog, since it was my fault that it happened in the first place. Be blessed today. Don't forget, success is not an accident.